Hello Orchid friends, how are you? Welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to look at my Phalaenopsis Germaine Vincent. If this is your first time watching my video, my channel is all about orchids, from what orchids I have, how I grow them, my thoughts on certain orchid topics, to what orchids in my collection are blooming, etc. So if you want to follow along my orchid hobby adventure, please consider subscribing to my channel and turn on the notification. I have done a video on this particular orchid before, and it was during its first spike and first flowering. And in case you missed that video, I'm going to include a picture right here. This is the photo of its first ever bloom, and as you can see, it's quite dark, even though the top two petals are slightly lighter in color if you look closely. And this one currently is grown in semi-hydroponics setup. It's doing really well because if you look at its roots, it's actually growing into the media, and some of the roots are actually long enough to reach the reservoir. So this orchid is definitely doing very well, very much liking the semi-hydroponic setup. This orchid is kind of funny because originally it was only shooting at one spike, and then very quickly the second spike emerged. And now I have two spikes, and this orchid actually opened up its second, third, fourth, and fifth flowers within 1 month. And of course, it's a sequential bloomer, so it's typical that it'll just continue to give you buds as the flower spike elongates. But toward the end of the video, you're going to see an interesting aspect of this particular orchid. During the first video that I did on this orchid, I was saying that I don't see any traits of speciosa because it has speciosa in its parentage. I was hoping that I would get the random petal or color distribution, color combination. I didn't get that, but starting from the second bloom, as you can see from some of the photos here, it's starting to get lighter and lighter, especially the top two petals. So I was thinking maybe it's starting to show its characteristics from the speciosa more as this orchid matures. And also, my care for this orchid is pretty much the same as any other semi-hydroponic setup orchids that I own. And I really basically give it water every 7 to 10 days or sometimes 14 days, depending on how quickly or how little the water is in the cup or in the reservoir. If I still see any moisture at all, I will wait until next watering cycle, because I really like to provide my orchids with really dry to really wet and then really dry, really wet cycles, because I think that's better for the orchid. And also, it's really an opportunity for the roots to take a break as well, because sometimes, always being in water, yeah, sure, full water culture, some people do it, and I do it too, but I believe that sometimes providing that bit of dry periods is healthy for the root, and I think it also acts as some kind of stimulation, I think, for the orchid to pick up its growing speed once there is moisture. And so, like I said earlier, so between early April to early May, this orchid just speed up its process for its bloom. So within 1 month, I got 4 more blooms after the first one. So I thought that was quite amazing. And here on April 23rd, I got 2 more flowers, and this is the second spikes. The second spike, and then as you can see, the second flower on the first spike in the background, it was fading already, but the 5th flower was in bud, and that was the one toward the end of the video that I really want you to specifically see, because it's actually quite interesting. And here is early May. The second spike was turning yellow. And now in this picture, it was completely dry. So after this video, I had already cut off that spike. Even though it's a sequential bloomer, because it is still considerably a young plant, so it's easy or normal for the spike to die off, and as this plant mature, the subsequent flower spikes that come out may start to elongate for a longer period of time. And for here, you see on May 11th and 12th, the fifth flower open. And if you compare this flower to the second flower or even the third, fourth, or fifth flower, you can tell the color difference. And here is the interesting aspect. I do not know if this is the traits of Speciosa coming out, or the color is so light because simply it's lacking nutrition, or the sunlight that I provide is different, or maybe because it's summertime there's more sunlight which led to lighter color. I don't know. Once this orchid have more blooms, we will be able to compare and contrast. This is all I have for you today. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, and if you'd like to get more orchid related videos from my channel, please subscribe and turn on the notification. I want to wish you happy growing, and I will talk to you in my next video. Ciao!